is a particular kind of knowledge that only comes with time, not from books, not from courses, from years of watching plants grow, fail, recover, and surprise you. After more than 2 decades of cultivating a kitchen garden, certain plants have earned a permanent place not just in the soil, but in the daily rhythm of life, particularly after 55, when the body begins to ask for things it never needed before: steadier energy, quieter inflammation, deeper sleep, a sharper mind. The kitchen garden becomes something more than a source of flavor. It becomes a pharmacy. These 7 plants are not trends. They are not the latest discovery from a wellness blog. They are plants with centuries of use behind them, now confirmed by modern research, that belong within arm's reach of anyone navigating the particular demands of the years past 55. Number 1. Turmeric, the anti-inflammatory staple. Curcuma longa has been growing in kitchen gardens across South and Southeast Asia for over 4,000 years. The thick, orange-fleshed rhizomes push through warm soil slowly, taking their time, much like the effects of the plant itself, which build gradually and compound over months of consistent use. The primary active compound, curcumin, works by inhibiting a protein called NF-κB, the master switch that controls inflammatory gene expression throughout the body. When NF-κB activity is reduced, inflammation decreases not in one organ or one tissue, but system-wide, simultaneously. For anyone over 55 dealing with the low-grade, persistent inflammation that accumulates with age, what researchers now call inflammaging, this mechanism is directly relevant. Clinical trials have compared curcumin to ibuprofen for joint pain in osteoarthritis patients, finding comparable reductions in pain scores. The difference is that curcumin does not damage the stomach lining or increase cardiovascular risk with long-term use, concerns that are very real with regular anti-inflammatory medication in older adults. Studies measuring CRP, IL-6, and TNF-alpha, the primary blood markers of systemic inflammation, consistently show significant reductions after 8 to 12 weeks of curcumin supplementation. There is one practical detail that matters enormously. Curcumin is poorly absorbed on its own. The addition of black pepper, specifically its compound piperine, increases curcumin bioavailability by up to 2,000%. Traditional cuisines that have used turmeric for millennia have almost always combined it with pepper. This was not accidental. It was the result of generations of observation that the combination worked better than turmeric alone. Turmeric grows readily in containers indoors, given warmth, humidity, and indirect light. Fresh turmeric root, grated into golden milk or cooked with black pepper daily, provides a consistent anti-inflammatory effect that builds meaningfully over time. In more than 20 years of working with medicinal plants, few have shown such reliable, measurable effects in the people who use them consistently. Number 2. Rosemary, the memory keeper. Rosmarinus officinalis, now reclassified as Salvia rosmarinus, has been grown in kitchen gardens across the Mediterranean for thousands of years. Ancient Greek students wore rosemary garlands during examinations. Roman physicians prescribed it for conditions involving memory and mental clarity. The plant's reputation for supporting cognitive function is among the oldest and most consistent in the entire history of herbal medicine. Modern research has identified the mechanism. The volatile compound 1,8-cineol, continuously released by a growing rosemary plant, inhibits acetylcholinesterase, the enzyme responsible for breaking down acetylcholine in the brain. Acetylcholine is the neurotransmitter most directly associated with memory formation, learning, and cognitive processing speed. When acetylcholinesterase is inhibited, acetylcholine remains active longer, improving the speed and accuracy of neural communication. A study published in Therapeutic Advances in Psychopharmacology demonstrated that simply being in a room diffused with rosemary aroma produced a 15% improvement in prospective memory performance, the ability to remember to do things at a future time, compared to a room without it. This is not a trivial effect. Prospective memory is precisely the type of memory that begins to show the earliest and most noticeable decline after 55. Rosemary is also one of the most potent antioxidant herbs available for kitchen use. Carnosic acid and rosmarinic acid, both present in significant concentrations, protect neural tissue from oxidative damage, a process that accumulates steadily with age and underlies much of the cognitive decline associated with aging. A rosemary plant on the kitchen windowsill serves two purposes simultaneously. It provides fresh leaves for cooking, and it continuously releases its volatile compounds into the air of the room where it grows. In kitchen gardens that have been tended for decades, rosemary is often the plant that outlasts everything else, woody, architectural, and reliably productive, year after year. Number 3. Lemon balm. The calm in the kitchen. Melissa officinalis is one of the gentlest and most consistently effective medicinal herbs for the specific challenges that accumulate after 55. Sleep that becomes lighter and less restorative. A nervous system that takes longer to settle after stress. The kind of low-level anxiety that does not announce itself dramatically but sits quietly in the background of daily life, raising cortisol and shortening sleep cycles. Lemon balm contains rosmarinic acid, shared with rosemary, along with specific compounds, including luteolin 7-glucoside and apigenin, that have documented effects on GABA receptors in the brain. GABA is the primary inhibitory neurotransmitter, the brain's natural calming system. After 55, GABA receptor sensitivity often decreases, making it harder for the nervous system to settle. Lemon balm supports this settling through a mechanism that is gentle, non-habit-forming, and compatible with the long-term daily use that produces the most significant results. A randomized controlled trial found lemon balm extract significantly reduced anxiety and insomnia scores in adults with mild to moderate sleep disturbances. Research specifically in menopausal women found significant reductions in mood disturbances, sleep problems, and symptoms of anxiety after 4 weeks of lemon balm supplementation. Multiple studies have confirmed cognitive benefits, improved memory, faster processing speed, reduced mental fatigue in adults over 50 taking standardized lemon balm preparations. Fresh lemon balm tea, brewed from leaves harvested directly from a kitchen plant, is one of the simplest and most effective daily practices available to anyone navigating the sleep and stress challenges of the years past 55. The plant grows vigorously, produces abundantly, and fills the kitchen with a gentle, clean lemon fragrance as it grows. Number 4. Garlic, the cardiovascular guardian. Allium sativum has been cultivated continuously for over 5,000 years. It was found preserved in the tomb of Tutankhamun. It was fed to the workers who built the pyramids, not as a luxury, but as medicine, recognized by ancient Egyptian physicians as essential for maintaining the physical endurance and resistance to illness that heavy labor required. After 55, the cardiovascular system faces a convergence of risks that accumulate quietly over decades. Rising blood pressure, increasing LDL oxidation, declining arterial flexibility, growing platelet aggregation. Fresh garlic addresses each of these through the activity of allicin, the sulfur compound released when a clove is crushed or chopped, along with a range of secondary compounds, including ajoine, S-allylcysteine, and diallyl disulfide. Clinical research is extensive. A meta-analysis of randomized controlled trials found garlic supplementation reduced systolic blood pressure by an average of 8 to 9 millimeters of mercury in people with elevated readings, an effect comparable to some first-line antihypertensive medications. Studies confirm significant reductions in total cholesterol and LDL levels with regular garlic consumption. Research demonstrates reduced platelet aggregation, lowering the risk of the arterial clotting events that cause heart attacks and strokes. Multiple epidemiological studies associate regular garlic consumption with reduced incidence of colorectal and stomach cancers. The most important practical detail: allicin is only formed when garlic tissue is damaged. Crushing or chopping a clove and allowing it to rest for 10 minutes before cooking gives the enzymatic reaction time to complete, maximizing allicin production. Cooking immediately after crushing destroys the enzyme before allicin can form. Garlic grown in containers produces small but genuine harvests and ensures a supply of fresh bulbs at peak medicinal potency, far higher than commercial garlic stored for months in supply chains. Number 5. Mint, the digestive and cognitive ally. Mentha species have been grown in kitchen gardens since antiquity. Every major ancient civilization, Egyptian, Greek, Roman, Chinese, cultivated mint, and every one of them used it for the same two primary purposes: digestive support and mental clarity. The consistency of this cross-cultural observation across completely independent traditions is significant. After 55, digestive efficiency naturally decreases, stomach acid production declines, digestive motility slows, bile production becomes less responsive. The result is a range of digestive complaints: bloating, sluggish digestion, discomfort after meals, that are commonly attributed to aging but are often addressable with the right botanical support. Menthol, the primary volatile compound in peppermint, relaxes the smooth muscle of the digestive tract, reducing spasm, improving motility, and facilitating the passage of gas. Multiple randomized controlled trials have confirmed peppermint oil significantly reduces abdominal pain and bloating in irritable bowel syndrome. Research confirms benefits for functional dyspepsia, the persistent upper digestive discomfort that becomes increasingly common after middle age. For cognitive function, the evidence is equally consistent. Studies confirm peppermint aroma improves alertness, processing speed, and working memory performance. A clinical trial found spearmint extract, containing rosmarinic acid and specific flavonoids, produced significant improvements in working memory in adults over 50 after 90 days of supplementation. The researchers noted that the cognitive improvements were sustained throughout the study period and increased with longer use. Fresh mint tea after meals addresses digestive complaints directly at their source. A mint plant growing in the kitchen continuously releases its volatile compounds into the room at concentrations too low to notice consciously, but measurable in their effects on alertness and mental processing. Number 6. Holy basil, cha or tulsi, the stress adapter. Ocimum tenuiflorum, holy basil, or tulsi, is distinct from the sweet basil common in Western cooking, though the two are closely related. In Ayurvedic medicine, tulsi has been cultivated and used continuously for over 3,000 years, classified as a rasayana, a class of herbs believed to promote longevity and rejuvenation. Modern pharmacology has identified the mechanisms behind this classification and found them to be genuinely significant. Tulsi is an adaptogen, a plant that helps the body maintain homeostasis under stress by modulating the stress response at a hormonal level. The primary active compounds, including eugenol, rosmarinic acid, ursolic acid, and a specific set of volatile terpenoids, work across multiple systems simultaneously, regulating cortisol production, supporting adrenal function, modulating thyroid activity, and reducing the systemic inflammation that chronic stress generates. A randomized controlled trial in adults with generalized anxiety found that tulsi extract significantly reduced anxiety scores, cognitive function impairment, and stress-related metabolic dysfunction after 60 days of use. Research in adults over 50 specifically found improvements in memory, attention, and cognitive flexibility. functions that decline measurably under chronic stress and that Tulsi appears to protect. For anyone past 55 managing the particular stress of this life stage, health concerns, life transitions, the accumulated weight of decades of responsibility, an adaptogen that addresses the hormonal mechanism of stress rather than masking its symptoms represents a meaningfully different kind of intervention. Tulsi grows readily as a kitchen container plant in warm, bright conditions. The leaves can be brewed as a tea, used fresh in cooking, or taken as a tincture. The plant has a distinctive clove-like fragrance, warm, slightly spicy, immediately recognizable, that fills any room it occupies. Number 7. Sage, the hormonal ally. Salvia officinalis has been cultivated in European kitchen gardens for over 2,000 years. Its Latin name, salvia, from salvare, to save, reflects the esteem in which medieval physicians held it. The traditional saying, "Why should a man die who has sage growing in his garden?" speaks to its reputation as a plant of broad and reliable medicinal value. After 55, sage becomes particularly relevant for two specific physiological changes that affect a significant portion of the population at this life stage. The first is menopausal symptoms. Clinical research has confirmed that sage leaf extract significantly reduces the frequency and intensity of hot flashes. One randomized controlled trial found a 50% reduction in severe hot flashes after 4 weeks and a 64% reduction after 8 weeks in women taking sage extract. The mechanism involves estrogenic compounds in sage that partially bind estrogen receptors, moderating the hormonal fluctuations responsible for vasomotor symptoms without the risks associated with pharmaceutical hormone replacement. The second is cognitive function. Sage inhibits acetylcholinesterase, the same enzyme targeted by rosemary's 1,8-cineol and by a class of pharmaceutical drugs used to treat Alzheimer's disease. Research in healthy older adults has found significant improvements in immediate word recall, attention, and processing speed after single doses of sage extract. A clinical trial found that adults taking standardized sage extract for 4 months showed measurable improvements in memory and cognitive function compared to placebo. The two effects, hormonal modulation and cognitive support, share a common thread relevant to everyone past 55. Both address aspects of the body's regulatory systems that become less precise with age, and both work through mechanisms that reward consistent, long-term use. Fresh sage leaves used generously in cooking provide a meaningful daily dose of active compounds. Sage tea, brewed from fresh or dried leaves, delivers higher concentrations for therapeutic effect. In gardens that have been tended for decades, a well-established sage plant becomes one of the most giving and most beautiful of all the kitchen herbs, woody and aromatic, productive through most of the year, reliable in a way that newer plants rarely are. These 7 plants are not a protocol or a prescription. They are a kitchen garden, a collection of living things that, grown and used consistently over time, support the body through the specific demands of the years past 55. The knowledge behind them is old, the science confirming them is current, and the practice of growing them, tending them, and using them daily is available to anyone with a windowsill, a pot, and a little patience. After more than 20 years of cultivating kitchen gardens, the most consistent observation has been this: the people who keep medicinal plants close, within reach, in the spaces where daily life happens, actually use them. And the people who use them consistently are the ones who notice, gradually and then unmistakably, that something has changed. If this video was useful, a like helps it reach others who might benefit from the same knowledge. Comments are always read, particularly from those who already grow some of these plants and have observations of their own to share. And for those who want to continue exploring the world of medicinal kitchen gardening, subscribing ensures the next video finds its way to you.